I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
Jesus. They took some, what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin and
Fenbendazole.
fenbendazole. Yeah. I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
There's studies on that now where people have proven that
people
they've
drinking methylene blue and stuff like that.
Yeah, methylene blue, which was a fabric dye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a textile dye. And now they find out it has profound effects on your mitochondria.
Yep.
Yeah.
This stuff works, man.
There's a lot of stuff that does work, which is very strange because, again, it's profit. When you hear about things that are demonized and that turn out to be effective, you always wonder, well, what is going on here? How is our medical institutions, how have they failed us so that things that do cure you are not promoted because they're not profitable?
Yeah, that's the narrative, right? You know, they are hiding the cure for cancer because it's not profitable. This is all nonsense. This is all complete nonsense. Let's look. So first of all, we're being offered anecdotal cases. I have 3 friends who survived stage 4 cancer. What kind of cancer did they have? What other treatments did they receive? And how do you know they're cancer-free? Most people who are diagnosed with cancer most people who get diagnosed with cancer get some kind of treatment. And then they're in a period where their cancer has been removed or they got their chemo or their radiation or whatever. They've gotten their treatment for it. And you could believe that they're cured at that point. And they would oftentimes, if they also took some kind of quack remedy, they'll say, I'm cured. They'll go around saying they're cured. And then you never hear from them when they get their cancer back and they die, right? Which happens sometimes. Then they're not going around saying, hey, I got my cancer back. These are anecdotal, right? That's why this is not reliable. Let's talk about the 3 things that they're talking about: ivermectin and methylene blue and another anti-helminthic treatment and the hydrochloric, whatever he says. So these are being studied as anti-cancer treatments, which kind of breaks their own narrative, right? Their own narrative is incoherent here. So how do we know about these things? Because scientists are researching them. And what stage are they in the research? They're in the preclinical stage, right? So yes, it's having some interesting effects on cancer cells. And so maybe there's something here that can be exploited as a cancer treatment. But in order to go from, oh, this has activity against cancer cells in a petri dish to an effective treatment, there's a lot of steps in between. And most things do not survive that whole process and turn into effective cancer treatments. Some do. There's a steady stream of new cancer treatments, which is why cancer survival is slowly improving over the years, about 1% per year over the last 20, 30 years. And it's been adding up to a pretty significant improvement in our cancer treatment because of this process, right? You identify things that might be effective. You see what they do in a petri dish. Then you see what they do in animal research. You try to get to the point where you understand what their mechanism is. You see what their toxicity is. You formulate it in such a way that then you could give it safely to people. And then you do clinical trials to see what role it might be playing with specific stages of specific cancers in specific people, maybe even looking at their genetic targets, whatever. Cancer therapy has become pretty individualized and sophisticated over the years. That's the process. They're just looking at things that are in the first step. It looks in preclinical petri dish, it has effect against cancer cells, and they're saying they've proven it's a cure for cancer. Come on, that's a complete misunderstanding of the science and how the whole research works and how developing new cancer treatments works. Then they overlay this narrative like, well, these are actual cancer cures that they are hiding, but they are researching it. It's being researched like anything else, and it will go through the steps. If it turns into an actual effective clinical treatment, it'll start to be used on patients because that's what happens. There's no conspiracy going on here. The only thing that's happening is that Rogan completely misunderstands how medical research works and how cancer therapies are developed, and he is just filtering these factoids that come his way into his preconceived narrative of some ridiculous conspiracy theory for which there is no evidence. So, don't listen to these guys. This is not what's going on. These things are being researched, but they're at the very beginning. We'll know in 20 years if these things are actual cancer treatments or not.